Future wife. There is something my best friend once said about you that I will never forget, even though you were not standing there to hear it, even though I had not met you yet, and even though at that time I had no idea what your face looked like, what your voice sounded like, or what kind of smile would one day make my entire world feel different. It happened on an ordinary evening, the kind of evening that should have disappeared from memory. Like every other normal day, my best friend and I were sitting in his car outside a small coffee shop, talking about life, work, relationships, and all the things we pretended we understood. I had just told him that I was tired of hoping for something real. I told him that maybe love was simply not meant for me. I had watched people fall in love, promise forever, and then become strangers. I had seen relationships begin with beautiful words and end with painful silence. So I had convinced myself that being alone was safer. My best friend listened quietly, and then he looked at me in a way that made me realize he had something serious to say. He said, "You know what I think? Somewhere out there, there is a woman who is going to love you for everything you tried to hide from everyone else." I laughed because I thought he was trying to make me feel better. But he continued. He said, "She is not going to care about how impressive you look. She is going to care about how you treat people when nobody is watching. She will notice the little things. She will see the tired version of you, the uncertain version of you, the version that sometimes doubts himself, and she will still choose you." I remember becoming quiet. Those words touched something inside me that I had spent years protecting. I asked him how he could possibly know someone like that existed. He smiled and said, "Because someone like her is exactly what you need." Then he said something I've carried with me ever since. He said, "When you meet her, don't waste time trying to convince her that you are worthy of her. Spend your time showing her that you are grateful she found you." Future wife. I don't know if you will ever understand what those words meant to me. At the time, I thought he was simply giving me advice today. I wonder if he somehow knew that one day those words would describe you. Maybe that is why I remember that night so clearly. Maybe life gives us certain sentences before it gives us the people those sentences belong to. After that night, I started looking at love differently. I stopped searching for someone who could make my life look perfect. I started hoping for someone who could make ordinary moments feel meaningful. Someone who could sit beside me without needing to fill every silence. Someone who would laugh at the silly things I say. Someone who would understand when I needed a little space, but never make me feel abandoned. Someone who could tell me the truth, even when the truth was uncomfortable. Someone who would hold my hand not because everything was easy, but because everything was not. I began imagining you without knowing you. I wondered what your favorite song would be. I wondered what kind of things would make you laugh until your eyes filled with tears. I wondered what your childhood was like, what dreams you had given up on, what fears you never told anyone, and what memories shaped the woman you would become. I wondered if you had already experienced heartbreak. Maybe you had already promised yourself that you would never trust someone again. Maybe you were also somewhere wondering whether a person existed who would stay when things became difficult. If that was you, I wish I could have found you sooner. I wish I could have told you that you did not have to become someone else to be loved. You did not have to be perfect. You did not have to hide your weaknesses. You did not have to pretend you were always strong. Because when I finally meet you, I want to know the real you. I want to know the stories behind your smile. I want to know what makes you nervous, what makes you excited, what makes you angry, and what makes you feel safe. I want to know the little habits you don't even realize you have. I want to know how you take your coffee, what you do when you are stressed, which songs you secretly sing when nobody is listening, and what kind of future you dream about when the world becomes quiet. More than anything, I want you to know that I am not waiting for a perfect woman. I am waiting for the right woman. And there is a difference. The right woman may have bad days. She may become emotional. She may get frustrated with me. She may disagree with me. She may sometimes need reassurance. And I will not see those things as reasons to walk away. I will see them as reasons to understand her better. I know. I will have my own difficult days too. There will be moments when I am tired, when I make mistakes, when I say the wrong thing, when I need forgiveness. I hope you will remember that I am human, not perfect, but I promise I will never use imperfection as an excuse to stop trying. I will keep learning you. I will keep choosing you. I will keep protecting what we build together. Maybe our first meeting will not be dramatic. Maybe there will be no music playing in the background and no perfect movie moment. Maybe we will simply cross paths on an ordinary day. Maybe I will say something awkward. Maybe you will laugh. Maybe neither of us will understand the importance of that moment until much later. But when I finally know that you are the woman my heart has been waiting for, I hope I will remember my best friend's words. I hope I will understand that love is not about finding someone who completes a broken person. It is about two complete people choosing to build something beautiful together. Future wife, wherever you are right now, I hope life is treating you gently. I hope you are surrounded by people who respect your heart. I hope you are becoming everything you were meant to become. And if you are going through something difficult, I hope you know that your story is not finished. There may be a chapter ahead that you cannot see yet. There may be a person ahead of you who has no idea that you already matter to him. I am still becoming the man I need to be when I meet you. I am learning patience. I am learning communication. I am learning that love is not just about feelings, but about responsibility, loyalty, honesty, and effort. And when the day comes that I finally stand in front of you, I don't want to tell you that I have been waiting for someone like you. I want to tell you that everything I learned before meeting you prepared me to appreciate you properly. Because my best friend was right about one thing. Somewhere out there, there is a woman who will see the parts of me I tried to hide and still choose to stay. I just never realized that woman might become the person I call my future wife. Part 2, Future Wife. If you ever ask me when I started believing in you, I may not have an exact date, but I will tell you about that evening with my best friend. I will tell you about the words he spoke before either of us knew your name. I will tell you that somehow, without meeting you, I had already started hoping that you existed. But there is something else I want you to know. I don't want our story to begin with the idea that you were destined to save me. I don't need you to save me. And I never want you to feel responsible for carrying my entire world. I want us to meet as two people who have both lived, learned, struggled, grown, and survived things that shaped us. I want us to choose each other freely, not because we are afraid of being alone, but because we genuinely enjoy being together. I want our relationship to be the place where both of us can breathe. Maybe one day we will have a home filled with ordinary things. Shoes near the door, dishes in the kitchen, unfinished conversations, random laughter, and little reminders that two people are building a life together. Maybe we will argue about something completely ridiculous and then laugh about it later. Maybe there will be mornings when neither of us wants to get out of bed. Maybe there will be nights when one of us comes home exhausted and the other knows exactly what to say without asking too many questions. I want those moments. I want the ordinary life that people sometimes overlook because they are too busy chasing dramatic versions of love. I want to know what it feels like to grow old with someone who still feels like my favorite person. And I want you to be my best friend before you are anything else. I want to tell you things I would never tell anyone. I want to hear your thoughts, even when they are completely different from mine. I want to know what you think about the world, about family, about dreams, about mistakes, about happiness. I want to learn how your mind works. I want to respect your independence while making sure you never question whether I am there for you. If you have a dream, I want to support it. If you need to change direction, I want to understand why. If you fail, I don't want you to feel ashamed in front of me. I want you to know that failure does not change how I see you. And if I fail, I hope you will remind me that one bad chapter does not define an entire life. I also know that love will not always feel like butterflies. Some days it will feel like patience. Some days it will feel like apologizing first. Some days it will feel like listening when you would rather defend yourself. Some days it will mean sitting beside each other in silence because words are not enough. I want to learn that kind of love, the kind that survives beyond excitement, the kind that remains when life becomes complicated, the kind that doesn't disappear just because the first months of romance become normal life. Future wife, I don't want to promise you a life without problems, because that promise would be impossible. I want to promise you that problems will never automatically become reasons to abandon each other. I want us to face difficulties as a team. If money becomes tight, we will plan together. If family problems appear, we will communicate. If one of us becomes lost, the other will offer a hand without controlling the direction. If we misunderstand each other, we will talk instead of assuming. If we hurt each other, we will take responsibility instead of keeping score. I want us to remember that we are on the same side. Maybe there will be moments when you wonder why I love you. On those days, I hope I will answer with actions rather than speeches. I will remember the little things. I will notice when your voice sounds different. I will remember the things that matter to you. I will celebrate your victories, even the small ones. I will encourage you when you doubt yourself. And when you feel beautiful, I will tell you. When you don't feel beautiful, I will remind you that your worth was never dependent on appearance. I want to love your character, your heart, your mind, your courage, and even the parts of you that you are still learning to accept. And I hope you will love me in the same human way. Not as an imaginary perfect man, but as the person I truly am. There will be things about me that annoy you. There will be habits I need to change. There will be moments when I need to grow up, listen better, or communicate more clearly. I don't want you to stay silent just to keep peace. I want you to feel safe enough to tell me when something hurts. I want us to build a relationship where honesty is not a threat, because real love cannot survive behind masks. It needs truth. It needs trust. It needs two people brave enough to say, "This is who I am, and I am willing to grow with you." Sometimes I imagine telling you about the night my best friend spoke about you before I even knew you. I imagine your reaction. Maybe you will laugh and say he was strangely accurate. Maybe you will ask me what exactly he said, and I will tell you every word I remember. Then I will probably look at you and realize that the woman sitting beside me is the same woman I once imagined without knowing her name. And perhaps that will be the moment I finally understand something. We don't always recognize the beginning of our greatest stories when they happen. Sometimes the beginning is a conversation we almost forget. Sometimes it is a decision to keep believing after disappointment. Sometimes it is a person saying a few simple words that stay in our hearts for years. My best friend gave me hope before I had a reason to have it. And one day, you may become the reason that hope made sense. So, future wife, I don't know when we will meet. I don't know where we will meet. I don't know what you will be wearing or what I will say first. I don't know whether our first conversation will be memorable or completely ordinary, but I know what I want to remember when I finally meet you. I want to remember that you are a person, not a fantasy. You have your own dreams, your own history, your own fears, and your own freedom. I want to respect all of it. I want to earn your trust slowly and honestly. I want to become someone you can depend on without ever feeling trapped. And when we finally look back at the years before we met, I hope we will both understand why those years had to happen the way they did. Maybe every disappointment was teaching us something. Maybe every wrong person was helping us recognize the right kind of love. Maybe every lonely night was preparing us to appreciate the morning when we would finally find each other. Until that day, I will keep becoming better. Not because I am trying to impress you, but because I want to arrive in your life with a heart mature enough to appreciate what we could build together. And when you finally become my wife, I hope I will never take that word for granted. I hope I will still look at you years later and remember that once, before I knew your name, my best friend told me that a woman would someday see the hidden parts of me and still choose me. He was talking about you, he just didn't know it yet. And neither did I, future wife. There is one more thing I want you to know about the woman my best friend described that night. He told me she would not simply love the version of me that everyone else sees. She would understand the quiet moments too. She would notice when I became silent, because something was bothering me. She would know when I was pretending to be okay. She would understand that sometimes a person can be surrounded by people and still feel completely alone. At the time, I didn't believe someone could ever know me that deeply. I thought people eventually got tired of trying to understand each other. But now, when I imagine you, I imagine someone who doesn't run away from the complicated parts. I imagine someone who asks, "Are you really okay?" and waits for the honest answer. And I promise you, when you ask me that question, I will try not to hide behind a simple smile. I will tell you when I am struggling. I will tell you when I am scared. I will tell you when I need your advice, because I don't want our relationship to be built on pretending. I want it to be built on truth. I want you to know that there may be moments when I look completely confident on the outside while secretly wondering if I am doing enough. There may be nights when I question my decisions and wonder whether I am becoming the man I promised myself I would become. And on those nights, I don't expect you to fix everything. Sometimes I will only need you beside me. Sometimes your presence will be enough. I want to become that person for you too. If you ever have a difficult day, I don't want to immediately tell you how to solve everything. I want to listen first. I want to understand what happened. I want you to know that your feelings matter to me even when I don't completely understand them. Maybe that is what my best friend meant when he said you would see the real me. He wasn't talking about some perfect connection where two people magically understand everything. He was talking about two people who keep choosing to understand each other, and I think that kind of love is much more beautiful. Future wife, I hope we create memories that nobody else will ever know about. I hope we have little jokes that make no sense to anyone else. I hope there are places that become special simply because we visited them together. I hope there is a song that always reminds us of our first year together. I hope there is a restaurant where we celebrate something important. I hope there is a quiet street where we once walked for hours talking about everything and nothing. I hope years later we can return to those places and remember exactly how we felt. I don't need a perfect love story. I need a real one. A story where we sometimes disagree but never disrespect each other. A story where we grow instead of growing apart. A story where we understand that love is not measured by how loudly we say, "I love you," but by how consistently we show it. I want to show you through the smallest things. Holding the door when your hands are full. Remembering something you mentioned weeks ago. Checking that you got home safely. Saving you the last piece of your favorite dessert. Sending you a message when I know you have an important day. Sitting beside you when you don't feel like talking. Celebrating you when you accomplish something you once thought was impossible. These things may seem small, but I believe small things become the foundation of a life together. One day, we may look back and realize that our entire marriage was built from thousands of little moments. Future wife, I also hope you never lose yourself after becoming my wife. I don't want you to stop chasing your dreams just because we become a family. Happy. I want to see you become everything you were meant to become. If there is something you have always wanted to learn, I want to encourage you. If there is a place you have always wanted to visit, I want to hear about it. If there is a dream you once abandoned because someone told you it was impossible, I want to know what it was. Maybe I can help you believe in it again, and I hope you will do the same for me. I don't want marriage to be a cage. I want it to be a partnership where both people become stronger without losing their individuality. I want us to be proud of each other's growth. I want to clap for you, even when nobody else is watching. I want you to know that your success will never threaten me. Your strength will never make me feel smaller. Your independence will never make me question your love. I want to be the man who feels lucky to have a strong woman beside him. And if there are times when you feel weak, I want to be strong enough for both of us until you feel like yourself again. There may also be moments when life tests us in ways we never expected. We may lose something important. We may face disappointment. We may experience changes that scare us. Maybe one day we will sit across from each other with no easy answers. On those days, I hope we remember why we started. I hope we remember that love isn't proven during perfect seasons. It is proven when the future feels uncertain and two people still decide not to let go. I want to fight for our relationship, not fight against you. There is a difference. I want disagreements to end with understanding instead of silence. I want apologies to be genuine. I want forgiveness to be meaningful. And I want both of us to be mature enough to admit when we are wrong. Future wife, I know I cannot promise that I will always say the perfect thing. Sometimes I may make mistakes. Sometimes I may disappoint you without intending to. Sometimes I may need you to remind me of the man I said I wanted to become. But I promise you this. I will never stop trying to become better. I will never use your love as an excuse to become careless with your heart. I will never assume that because you chose me once, you will always have to choose me no matter how I treat you. I want to keep earning your trust. I want to keep giving you reasons to feel safe with me. I want our love to remain a choice we both make every day, and maybe one day, when we are older, we will sit together and talk about the people we used to be. You will tell me about the woman you were before you met me. I will tell you about the man I was before I met you. We will laugh about the things that once seemed so serious. We will remember the fears that kept us awake. We will remember the people who came into our lives and left. And maybe we will realize that everything somehow led us to that one ordinary day when our paths finally crossed. I will probably tell you again about my best friend and the strange prediction he made years before. I will tell you that he said there would be a woman who would see the hidden parts of me and still choose me. And then I will look at you and say, you were the woman he was talking about all along. Maybe you will smile. Maybe you will shake your head and tell me that I am being too sentimental. But I will mean every word, because before I knew you, I was already learning how to appreciate someone like you. Before I knew your name, I was already hoping for the kind of love you would bring into my life. Before I held your hand, I was already hoping that someday I would have someone worth holding on to. So wherever you are right now, future wife, keep becoming yourself. Don't change who you are just to fit into someone else's idea of love. Don't settle for someone who only loves you when everything is easy. Don't believe that your past makes you less deserving of something beautiful. Your past is part of your story, but it does not have to control your future. I don't know what you have experienced before we meet, but when that day comes, I will not ask you to erase your past. I will simply ask you to let me be part of your future, and I will give you the same promise in return. I will bring you my past, my lessons, my mistakes, my dreams, and everything I am still learning about myself. I won't pretend to have everything figured out, but I will stand beside you with an honest heart. And maybe that is what real love is. Not two perfect people finding each other, but two imperfect people deciding that they are willing to grow together. My best friend once told me that when I finally met the right woman, I would understand why all the wrong doors had closed. I didn't understand him then. Now I think I do. Sometimes life delays something because it is preparing us for something greater. Sometimes the person we are waiting for is also waiting somewhere, becoming ready in their own way. So I will not rush our story. I will not force the timing. When we meet, I want it to happen naturally. And when we finally recognize each other, I hope we don't just fall in love with the excitement of the beginning. I hope we fall in love with the person we discover underneath it all. I hope we become friends, partners, supporters, and home for each other. And years from now, I hope you will know that before I ever called you my wife, I was already grateful for you, because my best friend gave me a sentence I could never forget. He told me that somewhere in this world, there was a woman who would see the parts of me nobody else understood and still choose me. I didn't know her name. I didn't know where she was. I didn't know when I would meet her, but now, future wife, when I imagine that woman, I see you. And when I imagine the future, I don't see perfection. I see your hand in mine, ordinary mornings, difficult nights, unexpected laughter, shared dreams, countless memories, and two people who never stop choosing each other. Maybe that is the love I was waiting for all along. Maybe that is why my heart never completely gave up. And when the day finally comes, when I look into your eyes and realize that the woman my best friend once described is standing right in front of me, I will remember those words forever. Then I will finally understand that sometimes the most important promises are made before we even know who we are making them to.